Welcome to Soccer We Like It, the Man United, right on the channel for United and football fans. Today we are joined by the UK crew. We have Vim, the analyst. Vim, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how's everyone?
Good, good. Kay, the smiley one, Mr. Positive.
Yeah,
Hello, mate.
what's
Welcome.
happening? Good.
Joe, Houston Red Army Soul Man. He's kind of having some technical issues. Oh, he's back. Hey, Joe. So, Man United 2, Spurs 2. United drop another point at home in front of Sir Jim, his first live game as the owner, sitting side by Sir Alex. Joining us today, we are going to be analyzing and deciphering what went wrong. Vim, you will start us off. Man United started like a house on fire. What happened, mate?
Um, what happened? What happened is what the usually happens is that they don't seem to be able to protect wins or leads in a game. I mean, the strike from Rasmus was fantastic. It was good to see him score. I know. Kay said he clashed into Rashford a little bit, and his positional sense is not there yet. But I think he's learning. He's learning to ply his trade at our club, which is what a lot of players have been doing. But we are like jelly in the middle. Teams just cut us open like butter. And, we concede too easily. The defense is all over the place. They don't seem to be cohesive enough. And Kobe Mainoo has too much to do. Ericsson, for me, was pretty much non-existent in this game. And his replacement wasn't much better in McTominay. Bruno is trying to create and he's trying to attack and he's trying to create opportunities for the front line. And yes, they did score. They scored. Rasmus scored and Rashford scored, but I think apart from Rashford's goal, I think he was woeful. And we should have beaten a weakened Spurs team. Imagine if Son and Maddison were there, they would have pulverized us. So really, I think they were the better team, and if we could have held on to our lead, we could have saved something. But they had more possession. Their stats were better overall.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Right, Joe. Man United started like a house on fire, but then we ended up watching damn squid. What happened there, mate?
Hey, man. We're exactly the same team. Week in, week out. Mentality not there. It's just the same problems over and over and over. We're conceding the same goals. We're conceding. It's set pieces again, catching us off guard. It's just mentality, not staying focused at the beginning of halves. The first 10, 13 minutes of every half in this team, and this has been years now, it's just never good enough. Like, we lose focus so easily. It's just any team can just put a good shift in. It's embarrassing. But that said, there were some bright spots. Rasmus getting another goal, kind of scrappy because it kind of felt like Rashford kind of was losing the ball, so he just kind of dumped it off on him. But I'm glad both of them were able to work together and get that goal, right? So none of the goals we conceded was because of them. So overall, it is what it is. It's 1 point. It was an opportunity, but this is not the team that takes opportunities. We haven't been for a while. And it was definitely disappointing. That second half was very disappointing. The way we just conceded the ball in possession to, like, teams just look way too comfortable at Old Trafford. It's disappointing again. But wow. I'll take the point.
Thanks, bro. Kay.
Yes.
Man United at home. Apparently Spurs had more possession, 64% possession more than the home team. What is going on?
Same old. We can't retain the ball. We're Moments FC. When the possession it's day and night. They dominated us with basically their second string. I think when they talked about the passes, I think they had like over 500 passes, completed passes. We were on like 280 or 290, something like that. And it's like at home, not Man City we're playing. This is flipping Spurs with a lot. Basically, it was only their back line that was their first team. The front line was basically the reserves and subs, and it's just same old. Concede from a set piece, like Joe said. Time after time, we've seen that under even since the holidays. Conceding straight after half time. That seems to be a pattern with Ten Hag this year. We score and then we concede straight away, or we come out for the second half, concede straight away. It's not good enough. Yeah, you're always going to get this. I thought today, I knew we'd score because they play with a high line, but I said it early into the game. Our defense is suspect. Even before they scored, I said it. I think someone said in the I think it was Devin said Delors having a good game, but I just look at the team and it's dysfunctional. They're not a team. It's 11 individuals. When you've got 3 players up front that all their best attributes is running, you're not going to beat teams. You've got Garnacho, Rashford, and Højlund. None of them are really skillful, really. They rely on their pace. So when you've got 3 road runners up front, you're not going to beat teams. You need people that got the pass and move, integrate well. It's just I'm not surprised. And we're a mid-table team. That's what we are, and that's why we are where we are. So
Right.
yeah.
So as it is now, an opportunity missed, dropped points. Sir Jim was able to witness it firsthand, watching it live with 76,000 other Screaming United fans, and yet, with the way United start, you would have thought, okay, these guys are going to do it today. But they never seem to disappoint you. You could go and take anyone who's betting on United must be making a lot of money nowadays because they're so predictable that they won't get 3 points. They will disappoint. They will drop points. They will concede. That is where this team is, unfortunately. For Spurs to come with not a full squad to dominate United like that is embarrassing. And look at the midfield. Bringing on Scott, it's just so dysfunctional. So, Vim, when you saw the lineup today, was the lineup part of the blame or is it the tactics? What is really the issue there now? What really is their issue?
The issue is our style of play, our system of play, and what to do when we can't when we try and win a game. I just think that we look very dysfunctional. We don't look like we're very hungry as well to win matches. We get a little bit pumped up and we go in a little bit of we have a bit of momentum and we score a goal and all's well, and then we just crumble. We just hand over possession back to Spurs and allow them to control the game. We don't finish games off. I think Spurs were there for the taking and we didn't take them. As soon as the second half started, we just conceded a goal. I mean, what is it? Lack of concentration. How can we concede a goal so quickly? It's just, I think it was 10 seconds, right, into the second half?
50 seconds.
Like 50 seconds. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. And why do we concede so many goals from set pieces? I mean, Richarlison's goal, I think Wan-Bissaka was on him and he didn't even jump. He didn't even jump.
Nope.
And I'm not singling him out, but I've seen this time and time again that some of our players just don't seem to be winning those first headers. They don't jump.
Yeah.
I just
there
don't
was actually
understand it.
we should have conceded another one. I don't know what his name was.
Hit the post.
Hit the post. Another free header in the middle. I'm like, it's like we're playing with a bunch of like little people. Like there's just no
midgets.
How do you? I didn't want to say midgets, but
Let me bring in Richard.
Maybe Ten Hag should take him for basketball practice or something like that. So
hi, Richard. Jumping. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. You okay?
Yes, we are. Where are United today? That performance, 2-2. They started like a house on fire. We all cheered up like, okay. Then it fizzles out. Consider going 50 seconds. Tell me what happened. Where's your stand on this one?
Well, I say if I go through a game without falling asleep watching United, then it's a good game. And unfortunately, I fell asleep at some point today. So I can't tell you the whole game, but what I can say is that the game was quite shambolic from a tactical standpoint. Spurs were playing with their B team. We were getting overrun in midfield. I think that Kobe Manu had some good moments, but it's just been the story of our season, really. We can't hold on to leads. The mentality is very weak. The coaching is trash. The setup of the players is trash. Players don't look interested. And we're always reverting to these like long balls or counter-attacking systems that don't always work. So Spurs, I think they should have been hard done by not getting the victory. But at the same time, I did see that there was periods when we played well, but just not well enough. So yeah, it's just been the story of our season, unfortunately.
Are you gonna say? Would you? I mean, this in front of. I was happy Sir Jim was able to witness this firsthand by himself, sitting with Sir Alex and looking at this like this is embarrassing. I mean, this is not a full Spurs. There's no song. It's just like, come on. They had 64% possession at Old Trafford. They are the away team.
So Jim's not going to sack Ten Hag at this moment in time, I don't think. As far as I'm concerned, I was telling this to Chris earlier on. I hope that Sir Jim turns this around, but I'm not convinced about Sir Jim. But hopefully, the more embarrassing performances that Ten Hag can have under Sir Jim, the quicker he can get out the door. But
right.
My biggest fear is that they'll go and hire somebody ridiculous like Harry Potter. No, not Harry Potter. What's his name? Graham Potter. And or Southgate when the Euros run out in the summer. That's my biggest fear, but we'll see.
Right. Okay. Tactically, Rasmus, Rashford, Garnacho. What do you say? Did they do enough for you today?
Like I said before, you've got 3 road runners up front. Like, it's give the ball to them and hope they'll do something with it. Like, it's not sustainable football. There's no like triangles. There's no passing moves. There's no patterns. It's just give the ball to Garnacho. Hope he runs past the player, beats him. Same with Rashford. Same with Højlund. Like, it's so easy to play against. Like, if that was a Sunday league game or Saturday football, you'd be rubbing your hands together like, oh, all they're going to do is run at them, stay tight on them, and they're not going to do anything. Like, we don't even really play balls in behind, really. Like, there's no ball retention. It's just, there's no way a team like Tottenham should be keeping the ball better than a team like Man United. Like, the players that are on that field there, it just shows that there's no accountability, there's no cohesion, they're not a team. The fact that the manager keeps playing these players and lets them do what they're doing shows to me that he's telling them to play that way. He's not I don't ever see him shouting when they're doing certain things. He's not dropping players when they're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's almost like this is what we do when we haven't got the ball. When we've got the ball, do what you like. And everyone's just, oh, I'm gonna just try something. And then if it comes off, it comes off. If it doesn't, oh, I tried. So yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. Not what I want to see in the Premier League.
Vim, the front 3, they didn't create anything. Nothing's been created for Rasmus. He only had 1 shot on target all 90 minutes. 90. Nothing. The front 3, they don't cross to him. They don't create for him. How is he going to score a goal? That goal he scored was a mistake. Rashford got locked in traffic and the Spurs guy just kicked it and it got stuck with Rasmus. So what's going on here?
They're just not very creative. We had 2 shots on target for the whole game, and Spurs had 6. So yeah, there's just lack of creativity, lack of talent. I mean, Rashford is just absolutely rubbish. Gets the ball and he can't go past players, and he still thinks he can. I think he should know by now that he can't take on players. So then you would just pass your way around players, which is what any good footballer would do, and he just doesn't do that. Very one-dimensional. I think we really need to sell him, and I'm glad Sir Jim Ratcliffe was there because hopefully we can cash in on Rashford and get some decent money for him. Hopefully, maybe Saudi or someone will take him. Garnacho for me was probably the only exciting player that we've got in that front three. I mean, he does take on players. He twists in and out, around players. It goes through players quite, with some vigor. So I think he's an exciting player and definitely one that we should hang on to. Rasmus, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure about him. Positional sense, he's got a good strike. We've got some power, and he's quite aggressive. He does harass a lot of players and troubles the defense, but positionally he's not there. He doesn't seem to be there with his timing for headers. Crosses come in and he's always a yard off. So, either he's got to get some one-on-one coaching and improve, or we may have bought a dud.
Do you know how we fix that? Do you know how we fix that timing?
Coaching.
And also, yes, if the player knows that the pass is coming, he'll be better with his time. When Rasmus is running down the pitch with Rashford on the left or Anthony or whoever on the right, he has no idea how that ball is being played. Because we lack a pattern, especially in the final third. He's always second guessing because he doesn't want to go off sides, right? It's like we've seen other teams do it constantly. One of the most frustrating things about Rashford, you can see how it led to his goal, right? He is quick enough to do the give and go. You lay the ball off, and then you just take off. Most players are not going to catch it. All you have to do is bring in the defense, bring them in, absorb the pressure, kick it off, 1-2. It's so simple. But over and over, we watched this man just do just constantly the most unwatchable football on the planet, man. The decision making. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just done with the kid. I'm done. I'm still gonna give a lot more chances to Højlund. He's a 20-year-old that is being tasked with getting goals for Manchester freaking United. Okay, so I'm gonna need to see some better quality on his left, on his right, and certainly behind him as well with our midfield. So. Yeah, that's my take on Rashford and some.
Richard, Rashford, Rasmus, Garnacho.
Yeah,
He doesn't get any service. He's literally feeding on scraps.
It is feeding on scraps. I think somebody said it. You've got 3 road runners up front. In a well-run team, Rasmus Højlund wouldn't be the main striker for a big club like United. He'll be sitting on the bench, learning from a more established striker, and then he'll get his chance. But United, unfortunately, we spent £72 million on him. Coincidentally, he shares the same agent as Erik ten Hag.
Yep.
But I'm not going to get too much into that. But there's been a bit of signings where we're going to Erik ten Hag's agent. So yeah, I think maybe that needs to be investigated. But yeah, I think that he's not getting enough service. But then his positioning is not great as well. I think Vim mentioned it. There's been times when he looks just a yard off the pace when it comes to positioning. But then Brume did counteract that and said, look, the fact that he doesn't know when he's going to get the pass, that could play a part. But then again, an elite striker would know when to move and when not to move. So I don't totally buy that, but I could see his point a little bit. But I just think that we need somebody else that is more established up front. But then I'm happy for his goal that he got today. It was a well-taken goal. But he's not getting enough service. The wingers are not great. I did think that Garnacho played really well today. He made some driving runs. He seemed like the only one that was on it. There was times that he was running the ball out of play at times, but he did seem hungry. So I'll give him his credit. But Rashford, yeah, he's got to go. He's either got to go to Saudi or somewhere where we can get some big money for him.
from all the reports now, again, the Spurs defender gave Garnacho a hard time, pace for pace, body same height, kind of same body weight. They kind of gave Garnacho not an easy ride today. They said they gave it to 60-40. The Spurs defender Anogi won the battle. Yeah, he won the battle against Garnacho. I thought the guy was quite quick, the Spurs defender. He matched him for pace. And Garnacho, I think he did well, but that guy was up to all his tricks, kind of, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So the midfield of Eriksen, Bruno, and Menu. Today I thought, do you think Eriksen was good enough, Vim? Today?
The guy was the guy shouldn't have been on the pitch today. You know, he just makes life a lot more difficult for Kobe Mainu, and I think he only serves one purpose, is to find a creative pass, but Bruno does most of that. You know, the only times I see Eriksen get onto the ball, he's just looking for that long pass towards Rashford or Garnacho or to the striker. It was ineffective today, and he's got no legs on him. He just trots around, just jogs around like it's a training game. That goal where I think it was the equalizer, the one
Yes.
where the man wasn't tracked.
Yeah.
Eriksen should have been tracking that man, but he was jogging behind him about 10 yards. Didn't see any acceleration to try and catch up to that player. Kobe Mainu was legging it back, trying to cover. Johnny Evans was, you know, he got side-footed. I mean, he got wrong-footed rather. So for me, Eriksen is a bit of a waste in midfield. You know, he kind of does the same thing as what Bruno does, and I think we need someone like Casemiro there next to Kobe Mainu, or someone else. Definitely not McTominay. Kobe needs help in midfield. It's too much for him to do.
Right. All right. Joe, Casemiro was on the bench today. Wasn't brought on. If he's good enough to be on the bench, good enough to at least be brought on, he didn't come on. And instead they brought on the one and only Scott McTominay.
I think, bringing in McTominay, I don't know. I'm a little. I can see both sides of the situation. He's coming back from injury. That's a role that requires a lot of running, and depending on the kind of injury that he has, it may not be time. You saw he brought in Licha second half of the game. You know, obviously he locked it down. I'm gonna say within the next game or so, Casemiro is gonna be starting alongside Menu. Because Casemiro would I feel like would be able to do a better job at what you're asking Scott McTominay to do. He did used to be our top goal scorer, so he has the ability to sneak into the final third, but he's also disciplined and he will track back. Okay, so that we don't know the injury situation with Casemiro. I would have hoped that if we were dominating the game 2-0, 3-1 later off in the second half, we would have seen Casemiro.
You're right. That's probably so.
Yeah, you know, if we were managing the game better, holding possession, and not just it was just like it was a grunge fest. Like if we were controlling the game a lot better, I think we would have seen Casemiro. But unfortunately, no.
Okay. Kay, is this our level? Is this our level? Mid-table? Is this where we are? Is this it? Should we expect anything better on this half of the season? No. Is this it?
With Ten Hag, you're not going to see anything different. How many games have we played now?
In the Premier League, 20.
20?
Yeah.
This game is almost similar to what we've been doing since the start of the season. So it's not going to get any better. Everyone thinks we're going to get new play. Martinez, Casemiro back, others back. We might score a few more goals, but the football's still going to be whack. It's just there's no blueprint for how we play. There's players playing in the wrong position. Like Eriksen traditionally is a 10.
He's a 10.
Like what we do. It's like what we do with Mata. We're playing him wide. We're playing him in the wrong position. Eriksen's going to become like Mata. Bruno, Eriksen, and Mount they should be playing in the 10, nowhere else, unless we're playing a weaker team or they come on as a sub. Once you start putting them in other positions, it takes away from other people's games. And the best managers put the best players in the best position and get the best out of their players. We're not getting the best out of anyone in this team. I don't see anyone thriving in this team.
Wow. Richard, is this where we are? Is this it? Is this it? Is this the Man United going forward? Is this what we should expect to the end of the season?
Yeah, under this manager, as long as we persist with Ten Hag, this is what we're going to get. We're going to see games where we win it luckily, or we play okay, and then there's other games, like most of the games this season, where we play badly. We're getting dominated. There doesn't seem to be a clear style of play. So even if those players do come back from injury, it's not going to get any better. So yeah, I don't really have much faith for the rest of the season. I think it's just a write-off, to be honest.
I will say, with assuming we bring all of our injured players back, right, to get back in the lineup, I think we'll be able to manage games a little bit better and concede less goals better. Now, we will still concede
set pieces.
Set pieces. Nobody's stopping that, right? But I would like to think, because there were some passes that you see Martinez making, right, while he was getting pressure. He has the vision to make certain passes to get us out of the press that I'm not seeing from Evans. So the more we include him into the game, I think the better we'll start looking. Because right now, I mean, to judge Ten Hag this entire season off this team, and I get it, other teams have injury issues too, but those teams are also in the same situation as we are, Newcastle being one of them. So that's how I look at that's the only hope. That's the only hope. The introduction is not going to lead to more goals. God damn it! Did Cape Verde just score? Okay, shit. Yeah, damn it.
Focus, Joe. Focus.
Oh my God, Ghana is killing me right now. Okay, so I think we'll start looking a little bit better once Leacher comes back.
Right. Vim, this it? Do you expect anything better than this now? Do you think United can push on? I mean, we've literally got to the halfway mark of the Premier League. This is game 20. It's 18 more games. Season is done. United are in the forefront of the FA Cup. They're going to play Ainsley or Newport or Newbury. We can't remember which,
Yeah, this is it. Our only hopes are FA Cup. Martinez can pick out the players, but who's he going to pass the ball to score a goal? I don't see anyone of those three really scoring prolifically. I mean, I just wish, imagine if Ibrahimovic was there when those crosses came in. Very few and far between, but if he was there, he'd be demanding the ball and he'll be heading on target, and we would be 4 goals up. We're relying on McTominay and Rasmus to score, and they're not very potent.
Think of the class of player. Think of the class of player you just mentioned. You just mentioned Ibrahimovic. Yes. Ibrahimovic is who should be the front man for Manchester United.
Exactly.
Not a kid like Haaland.
Yeah. And I was so gutted when he got injured.
A lot of pressure, though.
But he just doesn't have the talent that these experienced strikers do. He can't, his timing is off. Okay, I understand that he's not getting the crossing and not the service as much as he wants, but he's also going to be demanding it. And he's going to be speaking to his wingers, say, look, I want the ball. This is when I want the ball. This is where I want the ball. Ibrahimovic would be demanding his crosses. Why haven't you crossed it in? He would have a go at Rashford. He'd have a go at Garnacho or Anthony.
But when when Ronaldo was doing that, the players were getting upset that he's asking for too much. These players don't like to be told what to do.
Wait a minute. They were getting upset because Ronaldo wasn't getting to the end of that pass because his legs were gone. Okay, that's why they were getting mad.
I beg to differ, bro. I beg to differ. They've done anything different? Go on, Vim. Let me know.
But Ronaldo, when he was in and around the 6-yard box, he was pretty potent. When he was there, yes, okay, he didn't, fit in well into Ten Hag's system, which is all possession and keeping the ball all the time, but he got the goals. And that's what we're missing. We're missing a striker that can score. You know, if we do pass out the ball from defense, we want to have some hope that our strikers can put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't think we've got anyone that can do that. So we need to go out in January, well now, and buy a good striker.
Who's
Not
available?
some young'un. I don't know. You know, should we go for Osimhen? I don't know. Who can we go for?
I don't think Inter's gonna sell him this midweek.
I say our best bet maybe if we can't find somebody just a diamond in the rough, maybe go for Tony. I would
Tony,
love to
Ivan
see
Tony from Brentford.
100
Tony.
million. They want 100 million for him.
God, that's a summer signing, not January, bro. No
And he's
way.
old.
That's too much money.
Way too much.
Yeah, that's too much money. That's too much.
We
money.
spent 70 on Hoyland, and we're gonna spend 100 on top.
Ain't happening, brother.
We
Not
haven't
happening.
even FFP. We can't even spend that much on one player.
Ain't
We need a
happening.
lot of players in summer. We need a lot of players.
So isn't this what Ragnick was saying? Have we not come back 2 managers after to the same discussion of open heart surgery?
Yes.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Richard, what has changed? Nothing.
Nothing's changed. The mentality is still the same. I mean, me and Bems have a lot of disagreements, but one thing I'd say that is true is that the structure of the club is totally rotten, you know, from top to bottom. Now that we've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe here, hopefully things can change from a structural point of view, but it's a very toxic environment for anybody to go and thrive in. You know, look at the players that we've brought in, players that were well regarded in Europe, but they come to United, they've crumbled for whatever reason. Managers, you know, Ten Hag, believe it or not, was actually wanted by Man City as the guy to replace Pep Guardiola a couple of years ago. Yeah, but he's crumbled and he looks like the Dutch Sam Allardyce. So I think that there's times that
Sam Allardyce, big old Sam.
I think that United as a club is just rotten. It's horrible. So nothing has changed since that Rangnick statement. And until we get a clear direction as to where we want to go as a club and stop focusing on being a commercial club, these things are going to continue, man. And the Glazers are still going to be in the background. So I'm not convinced that we're even going to do well with Sir Jim and the Glazers in partnership, because we all know how the Glazers operate. Sir Jim still needs to answer to those Glazers. So, yeah, sorry to sound negative, but I'm just not very hopeful that there'll be a massive change.
Wow. So you're not expecting. So Richard, just a question to you. So do you see European qualification this season?
No.
No,
No,
not even Europa.
And I think what's going to happen is they're going to leave Ten Hag there till the summer. He's like the interim coach at the moment, and then he's going to be relieved of his duties, unfortunately. For Bems and Brume on the call, he's going to be relieved by the summer, and then we'll get some
question for the group.
Right.
For us to get back, would it be better for us to just miss Europe for just one season, bro? Just one season.
The club this size, they need this.
Yeah.
Brume, can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question back. What is us getting back? Is it just top four and that's it?
Yeah, I wanted to say
challenge for the league.
Mate,
Challenge
my son is 13. We will not be challenging for the league till that guy finishes being a teenager. I guarantee you. He's that bad.
Come on,
Joe. You know my son.
Ted.
I'm being serious, because the way we still are, I can't see no change. It's the same players who have been passed on from manager to manager to manager to manager. They're still there on high wages till we do a full clear out. As in the Rashford, the Brunos, the Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Martial, all of them out.
Yo, is it true that he had suitors and he just chose not to? Like, people were coming for him. Like, wait a minute. I have never heard of a team where this happens. Like, in all of sports,
players refuse to go.
Yeah,
you got to remember,
he's only going for year of contracts.
He's going for 6 months
to do what's best for him.
Yeah, and you got to remember, his kids are in school in Cheshire. He ain't gonna go somewhere for 6 months and take his kids out of school.
Listen. Wait a minute. Are you telling me Martial is allowed to keep this club, Manchester United, hostage because his kids are
No, but
enrolled
you gotta
in
remember,
primary school?
Joe, he's gonna do what's best for him. Why is he gonna go somewhere for 6 months that he doesn't really want to go to? When in summer, he can go wherever he wants. Well, not wherever he wants, but he's got the pick of more clubs. He'll get a bigger signing on bonus, and he's got the summer to get ready to change his life. Like you got to remember, players have got to do what's best for them.
I
Players have
see
got
it
to do
from
what's best for them.
Martial's point. I mean, from a fan perspective, it doesn't look good, obviously.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
it don't.
but from a
It
personal
don't.
perspective, yeah,
It,
I
it
can see
doesn't.
why he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Joe,
Speaking of the
does that
INEOS,
clarify? Does that clarify? This is where we are. A player could say, right. Where did you
Just
guys
real
think?
quick.
Go on, Joe. Go on.
No, just speaking real quick on the INEOS. There was another gentleman that's coming in with the INEOS, Sir Radcliffe, and then there was this other British bald guy. He's the one
Dave
Brailsford.
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 the one that was in charge of the cycling team.
Cycling, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He had an interview in a show in Sky called Pursuit of Success,
of a
something
CEO.
like that.
Yeah.
No, not
watched
Diary
it.
of CEO.
No, that's the one with Steve Bartlett. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're on about. But Joe.
Something about success, path to success, or whatever, right? And the way he broke it down on how he sees leadership and how to develop teams, it's promising because he stated, because like, and it would seem like it was a contrast between how maybe some of the things that Ten Hag can change, where in order to improve players, you have to. He was talking about having like a carrot system, always having something for them to aim for, right? And I think for a long time, this team has so many players that really don't have anything. When you give a lot of players the bag, that drive, for them to play harder, run harder, because a lot of times you want to play harder so that you can get accolades, so that you can get the bag. But we're just giving you the bag without even showing anything. He mentioned that, and he also mentioned it's better than just using a stick to get people to, and I feel like maybe, and I will admit to Mr. K, to Mr. Richard, and Mr. Fortress, unfortunately he's not here, that
Ten Hag's been using the stick too much.
He might have used the stick maybe too long for certain players. The stick still needs to be used, but maybe a little bit too long.
He needs to not use the bamboo and use the what's it called?
Koboko. That's what we call it. Koboko.
I lost my line of thought now. Oh, I lost my line of thought.
Well, while you're thinking of it, Tim, but like Vin was saying, if you listen to his interview on the Diary of a CEO, he talks about how he got into cycling. It's a good story. Like marginal gains. Like the guy left home.
Do you have a link? Is there a link I could watch? Is
I'll send the link in it.
Right,
even Thierry Henry did one, I think, a week ago.
Yeah.
And when you listen to it, you're like, wow, like we just see the footballer. When you start looking at the side of the game that we don't get to see, it's like, wow, like Thierry Henry was saying, like, I think Steve put it to him, do you think you were depressed? And he was like, I can't pinpoint it, but it sounds like I probably was. And he was saying like how his dad picked him up and said, you're gonna be a footballer, and like the tough love he got, it's interesting. And he was saying like he doesn't know what to do now. He's not a footballer. It's like he said he died as a person once he stopped playing football.
Wow.
It's interesting. Like,
that's crazy.
Because you got to remember, a footballer gets told what to do, when to do it, everything done for them. That's why a lot of them, after they finish football, they put on weight, they get depressed, they turn to drink because, I need to be a normal person now. People are not ringing you up for tickets. No one cares about you. You're a has-been. Like, it's interesting. Like, and it's something as a fan, you don't really, you just think, he's fallen off. But it's
Right.
I'll send the link though.
Right, thank you very much. So as it stands, we can come to that agreement that this is United. This is where we are. We are not expecting anything better currently from where we are at the moment. So Richard
Is it
said
Mr.
he don't
Fortress?
see. Richard said he doesn't
Oh,
see.
Mr. Fortress is joining us.
He just came in just at the half point. Mr. Fortress,
What's
welcome,
happening?
representing UK.
What's happening? What's happening, fans?
Mr.
What's happening?
Fortress, the
What's up?
halftime substitution.
What's up? What's up?
So
What's up, man?
as it stands,
Afternoon.
like Richard has already said, he cannot see United qualifying for Europe this season. Joe says, is there something to aim for? There is nothing to aim for. Like from what you're saying, if you discuss what you're saying from that interview, there has to be something to aim for. We pay them so much. What's the motivation? It's like when you're told at work, you're going to get a pay rise. So we start working harder to meet that pay rise. But if they throw everything at you, why would you work harder when you've already got next 2 years pay rise already given to you right now? There's nothing there, nothing to aim for. You meet your objectives, give or take. You're already being paid for it. So we are a disorganized, chaotic club already. So there's nothing for these players to even aspire to. They get paid more than Man City players. They get paid more than Arsenal players. They get paid more than Liverpool and City players who are winning or even competing. We don't compete, but we pay these guys more than other teams who are competing. I don't get it. Vim, come in on this one, please.
Yeah. Question?
We as a team, we pay our players more than the teams who are winning and competing at the highest level. Some City players don't even earn as much as United players. Yet United players haven't won anything, don't plan to, are not even considering to win anything.
I think money should not be the only motivator. So maybe that's the mistake that clubs be making. They think that people will play better or try and gain improvements in their play just because of money. And I think that, when you're already a multi-millionaire, an extra bit of cash is not really going to be motivating enough for you to perform better on the pitch. So Brailsford, basically what he believes is that you look at every aspect of what footballers are involved in and try and find 1% improvements in anything you can find, whether it's be the boots, in their training, in their diet. I mean, when he coached the cycling team, he looked at the weight of tires. He looked at the weight of the seat, the shape of the seat. He looked at the braking, the systems. He looked at the bikes. Could he make it 100 grams lighter? The aerodynamics of the helmets. He looks at absolutely everything, breaks it all down, and tries to get marginal, slight improvements in all of those aspects, which will then help cyclists become better and faster, and be able to endure longer races. So if he can apply that principle to our club and to our football, and he looks at all of these aspects and starts using data analysis, then yes, perhaps we will see these marginal gains. And he's got to probably work on each player. How can Rashford improve his game? Where does he need to improve in games? And give him targets. Give them all specific targets on how they need to improve their game. Tell Anthony, look, you've got to start learning to cross with your right foot, or get down to the byline, and 50% of the time you've got to get down to that side and cross, and as well as doing it on your left. Rashford, you've got to learn how to beat players again. If you can't do it, we'll coach you. All these little things. So maybe that's what's been missing. So if you start bringing the joy back into players' games, then you might see improvements, and the motivation will increase. So not just money, but everything else.
Mr. Fortress, Joe, you wanted to rebuttal quickly, and what you wanted to add on to what?
Just add one. Yes, just add on one quick thing. He also mentioned about player and just motivation for everybody in the organization. If he feels that any player at any level or anybody on the team does not have the drive to always seek to be better, he doesn't want that kind of mentality or that individual with the organization. And that is one of the main rots with this team, where there's so many people at this club, both on the pitch and off, that are doing bad, terrible at their jobs, and they're just completely uninterested in being better at their craft, which is, so just want to point that out too.
Right. Mr. Fortress, everyone has done, you just, on this occasion, I'll go back for you. What happened today quickly?
We're
You hear
mute.
Mike.
Mike,
Right.
give him the mic. Give Kelly the mic.
Yeah, I just wanted
your
to
time
comment.
started. Go on.
Yeah, I just want to comment on Vim's point. Whilst it's a very detailed analysis and very good, report of what he's done in the past. That was cycling, though. That's one thing I'm thinking about. It's like basically telling Pep to manage the Pakistan national cricket side. He's not. He's trust me. It's not gonna work.
But he's talking about the principle of how
Yeah,
to
but let's
change
forget
the
all that
little.
Look. I've had enough of this club. LVG came, all this nonsense in detail. We've had all this nonsense, man. Until we start seeing results, I do not care what he took. Any tires, or the tires need to be this size, and helmet aerodynamics. Nonsense. It's all nonsense. Football's a different ball game,
But he looks at, he
yeah.
goes into detail. You see, what do you think City have been doing? They've been
I know,
using
but
data and analytics, right, to find, they look at absolutely everything that the player contributes in the game.
Why. Yeah,
so you start looking at data.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're
that
going
with football people, not cyclists.
But you got but he's a data
No.
guy. You're missing the point. He's a data guy. He goes into the minuscule details of what can improve a player's performance. So forget about what he's done in cycling. He can apply that philosophy. Who?
Ragnick's a data guy.
One at a time. Vim, finish your point.
Yeah, go on, Vim.
No, I'm just saying, whichever sport he's been involved in, it's about applying those details
Finer details.
They're finer details. Looking at data, looking at performance improvement. You don't need to understand. He doesn't need to be a footballing guy. He just needs to understand sports performance, which is what this is, and our performance is absolutely shy. Okay,
I agree with you.
I know you don't
Vin,
believe in it, but look where we are as a club. We need all the help we can get. So I try to be positive about it.
I understand where you're coming from. My only concern is you mentioned City. City did the analysis with people that have been their best in class in football.
We are getting the
another
best
sport.
in class. So look at the CEO that we're getting. Right, we're getting. I sent that infographic out last week.
The Van Damme guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Claude, I'm hearing that might not even happen. I'm hearing that might not happen.
That's what I'm saying. All this
but
stuff.
he's already part of the INEOS group. He's already.
No, but I'm hearing him. He might not be the CEO of the club.
Yeah, but Vim, why this Brailsford is part of the Nice setup and Lausanne in Switzerland, and they're two struggling clubs as well. He's got all this data analytics. Do you know what it is, right? It's like a politician who's in the process of running for some elections. Yeah, he's going to tell you everything that you need to hear, so that everybody laps it up. But when he's actually in office, he's useless.
Right.
Well,
I think one of the main things me and Vim are gravitating to, even though we've heard it all before, right, is that the idea of accountability being brought into this club is something that is very intoxicating, and it's something that is in such need at this club. Anytime somebody just says, okay, I'm just gonna check. Like if somebody just say, I'm gonna check a motherfucker every day, we're gonna hire that dude, right? Because we just need it's part of the reason. Now, as far as the individual being part of a cycling team, listen, man, you think the CEO of McDonald's makes the best burgers on the planet? No. Okay. So it's about management. It's about managing people. It's about setting expectations. These things transcend football. The leadership style that's required to get us where we need to get to United is the same thing you'll need to work to lead Tesla. The same thing you'll need to manage a regiment in the military. These are the constant, and yes, with data, it allows you to visualize where your shortcomings are so that you can better attack which parts are your weak points. So I'm going to give the guy a chance, right? Like I said, if he's been successful at getting a management to back a team, if you can apply that, yes. I'm just happy that there's somebody willing to do the job. That's all.
Thank you.
We
Thank
agree.
you.
Let's
Rich,
hope. Let's hope. Yeah.
Ken, come in
Yeah.
quickly because you wanted to
On the
say,
game.
yeah, you said you don't believe in all of that. Go on. You have enough time to
Yeah,
talk.
I just don't feel. I feel like we needed best in class football people. I'd rather someone comes and says, you know what, we've got experience in this field, but we're going to see how we're going to like bring in best in class, work with football people to make things better, not trying to do it themselves because they've done it well in another sport. That's my only concern. But anyway, that's that. We hope everything turns out to be what they've said. But like I said, my biggest issue is at United is everyone that has come out and said and talked the talk has not necessarily walked the walk. This is not the first time we're hearing about data and analysis and things like that. But fingers crossed, this will be different. But on the game, yeah, as you originally asked, the game, I think we rode a lock basically. We should have lost the game, shouldn't we? To be honest, we were absolutely battered.
I mean, you could say if Scott McTominay executed, we should have won that game.
Yeah, but it's still Moments FC. This is still Moments FC.
It's still Moments.
Moments FC, Moments FC would have won us the game, but Moments of FC will not win you. Will not get you far. You won't win the top trophies with Moments FC because when Spurs started playing and passing the ball, we were shell shocked.
We're all over the place.
All over the place. We started defending and hoping to counter attack, and it just wasn't working. And then our beloved manager Brian Scott, who absolutely the Scottish lad who ruined the whole game. We couldn't keep the ball as soon as Scott came on. So
what would have been the answer to Eriksen's dead legs? What would you have done, Kenny?
Yeah, I would have brought someone else in. That can do something different. So
Casemiro was there.
Yeah, you got Casemiro there. You could do something like even tell Bruno to step in and play centre mid as opposed to trying to play attacking mid, and bring someone else in there. Maybe try playing Anthony as a number 10 since he can't cross. Let's see if he can create something. Just do something different. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Do something different. Let's try to keep. We're at home, man. We come to Old Trafford and we play. We go away and we're disgraced. We come to Old Trafford and we can't keep the ball. It's just, I just don't know if we've disgraced. Even Gary Neville was saying the same thing in the post match when he said, we just don't know what style, what identity we have. But that's a long term. That's something that's been going on, right? But the biggest thing he said, and I think someone's mentioned this before as well, where Gary Neville basically said that this manager came, that basically Louis van Gaal came, right? And we didn't like the football that Louis van Gaal played, but he quickly established a style of play. It was boring, but we went to Anfield and it worked. We dominated Liverpool. That's like one of the games I've ever seen United dominate a top team away from home, like keeping the ball, passing and stuff like that. So we just didn't like the style of play. So this guy comes in, he's played with Pep. He's managed with Pep. He's, played, Dutch possession-based football in Ajax. And then he's come here and he's basically said, look, I can't do that here. Like, what's that about?
Lying on your TV, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
In a job interview.
What's that about?
Oh no, sorry, I can't do the job anymore.
One at a time.
Like when you're ordering something online and you see the picture and it looks great, you say, I'm going to get this great product from.
Like very.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
you're saying Erik ten Hag is the Sheen. Erik ten Hag is the Sheen.com manager.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Temu or Amazon.
Shame on you guys.
That is messed up, man.
Shame.
That is
there must be some kind of Sheen.com converter that happens at this club, because this has happened to everybody. There's like some kind of Sheen filter That happened.
Yeah.
It happened to Oleg. It happened to freaking
Mourinho.
Moyes,
Mourinho,
Mourinho.
Van Gaal.
Bro, it's so much deeper, man. There's rots, man, and it needs to be gutted out. It needs to be gutted out, and hopefully with the management, we'll get somewhere.
Yesterday we saw Sancho make his debut again for Dortmund. He seemed happy. They showed him in the locker room, giving high five to his friend. He seemed happy. Vim, I don't know if you saw his assist, and he scored to Roy something. I can't. He's been there a long time.
Marco Royce.
Yeah, Marco Roy. He's been there forever, and
Mhm.
he seemed happy. I mean, he played on the right. At United, he wants to go to the left. So what's the problem there? What's his
Sorry,
problem?
who played on the right?
Sancho yesterday
Sancho.
for Dortmund.
Oh, Sanchez. Sorry, no, I haven't seen that. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. He played
got
on the
an
right.
assist.
He got an assist.
Got an assist.
Yeah.
So what's all this stuff about
Against
him
the
being
worst team in the Bundesliga.
fined or something like that? There's some other stories on Sancho at the moment, isn't there? That he's not been
Isn't that-
allowed to play. Was that all
Yeah.
fake?
Where Dortmund?
Yeah.
He's been playing. He played yesterday.
Right,
He played yesterday. He made his debut yesterday.
That's probably
again.
old stories that people are saying.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Regurgitating.
Okay.
Well, yeah, good luck to him. But the other thing as well, right? What are we all, in our careers, what are we all guided by in terms of, in work, in terms of performance? We all have like performance reviews, right? At the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll all have targets to meet, etc.
Yes.
So I've been wondering, do our players have such targets? Do they have performance reviews, or are they just free to do what they want? And if they've just been free to do what they want, which is certainly how it looks, then I'm hoping this new setup is going to put things in place now to give them targets. So
The target was to get the bag, and they got it when they signed for United. That's what the target looks like it's been for a lot of these players. Get a big wage, and that's it. That's the motivation for most of these players, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and that's the wrong target. So they've got to set targets for each player in terms of how they can improve, where they need to improve, what they can contribute. Look at all the analytics, and then say, look, you need to achieve these results. Otherwise, potentially we, I don't know what they can do. Dock their pay, not play them, send them to the reserve. I don't know what they can do, what the penalties could be, but they've got to be
held accountable.
Held accountable for the performance. If they don't put the performance and they do damage the team or they damage the system, then they need to be held accountable, and that's what's not been happening. So I'm hoping that's what's going to be implemented.
Right. Do you guys still have hope in Ten Hag? I'm going to start with Ken.
No.
No hope.
No. He's.
Do you want it done by? Do you want it gone by the end of the season?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Joe? Joe.
Yeah.
Hold on, Joe. Do you want it gone by the end of the season or carry on to next season?
Carry on to next season.
Vim?
If it carries on like this, then this will be his final season. If he manages to turn it around, if we get a good striker, if he can get the players to play a better system and bring us, attacking, free-flowing football, then he's welcome to stay. But if it stays this way, he needs to go.
Wow. Okay.
You gotta cut it. Fresh start, cut it, mate. Cut it the rot. You gotta remember, like when you have a new big takeover or a new investment, everyone's always gonna. It's not. At least in some, if we get someone new, there's more belief. Like if we go with Ten Hag next season, people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's just gonna bring in the same Dutch players that he knows." And
no, but they'll have a DOF at the time, so he can't be making those decisions like that.
Yeah, but we've seen already, like he's beefing too many players. There's players in this team that you can tell don't respect him, and they're senior players that are gonna play. Like today, I was saying in the group. Did you lot see what happened when Rashford came off the bench? I mean, went on the
I didn't
bench.
see that.
He sat on the stairs, and he was like, he was saying something to someone like, I can't remember, I think he was swearing about something. And
what is he swearing about? What is his problem?
And this is not the first time he's done this, by the way. This is not the first time he's done something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was about him coming off or about someone on the pitch. But then as soon as the whistle went, he walked straight down the tunnel when all the other players were shaking hands. So there's clearly some like disharmony between in that team.
Hold on, John. Richard, does he stay on or you want it gone by the end of the season?
end of the
continue
season,
next.
mate. I wanted him gone yesterday. I wanted him gone months ago. I wanted him to be gone months
Richard, you're
ago.
too hard. You're too strict, Mr. Strict. You're too strict.
Oh, no. You get him
Damn.
done. At the end of the day, Ten Hag, everyone knows in this group that I wanted Ten Hag to come to United. So I'm not
Right.
going to say I didn't want him, but it's just not worked. If it's not working, the players don't respect him. The style, for me, the
Even with
style
a
of
new
football-
change, even with INEOS now, do you not think INEOS should kind of provide him with a DOF, a Sparta, a sporting director? You don't think that might change the tide?
I think he's too set in his ways. I think he needs a fresh start. Maybe manage a club at the level of, I'm not saying go to Dortmund, but that type of level of club and rebuild him.
So you're trying to say he's like an Everton level?
I think, do you know what? I think Everton's harsh, but
Yeah.
I think he's maybe like
He's a
Seville,
Europa League manager.
Yeah.
Ajax
exactly.
is struggling, by the way.
Yeah,
They probably want him back.
Ajax, maybe go back to Ajax, but that
Yeah.
type of team, Europa League team, I think he'll do okay. But I think United's just a step too big for him. I think he needs to go.
Wow.
I don't even
Richard,
think
your
he'll-
camera is frozen, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone can see that, but
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is,
I
it
know.
is, it is.
yeah, yeah.
Joe, you wanted to say something quickly. What were you going to say?
I think I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just,
Um,
Joe, I got a question for you. So you want Ten Hag to go into next season. Let's just say INEOS gives him 200 million, 250 million. If he
Yeah.
loses the first two games, imagine he loses the first game of the
That's
season,
3
gets
seasons in a row.
gets the draw. First game of the season, next season he loses, draws the second game and loses the third game. That's when look, all the fans will be, everyone will call for his head. But then sacking him then is far worse because you've now given him 250 million pounds that he spent
And
on
no manager's
players
gonna come.
that a new manager will come in and probably not want those players. That's why we can't. That's the problem you have, Joe. That's the challenge.
I believe with INEOS in, right? And obviously I'm going it on faith that we will improve on certain key points of this organization. Recruiting and the way we negotiate contracts and the way we buy players. I think we need to concentrate not on personalities, but actually just certain type of players. We need just types of players, not personalities, right? It's all nice if you get the big names or whatever, right? But if you get people that you see that they have the attributes, right, to execute, so that at the very least we don't have players playing out of position. There should be no need why Eriksen is playing out of position, because we should have a player that does that very well, so that Eriksen can be very successful playing the 10 in his position. So if we do that, right, I have confidence in giving Ten Hag 200 mil. I don't have confidence right now with just giving him a blank check, because he's proven that sometimes it's a hit and a miss. And with Anthony, that was a big miss, and it's looking like Onana was a big miss too, even though that seemed like that has Mason Mount. That's another big miss. There's a 3 big misses, but I've seen United make these kind of moves in the past where they just bring players
It's
in.
powerful heat.
In one window, though. In one window.
They bring players in to sell shirts. I'm just saying, if we can change that culture, like I said, recruiting and negotiations, right? He may not even necessarily need the 200 million, right? You're saying 200 million because we overspend. We overspend like a mug, man.
We need at least
overspend. So
the point Joe is making is a bit valid, because INEOS might say, listen, you've had this amount of money, you've decided this ABC is what you want. Now we're going to change. You will report to a director of football. You and him will work together. If he doesn't think this guy fits the profile, you're not having him. So they're going to reduce his power of taking the single decision. That might make a big difference in the quality
in a negative way. In a negative way.
Why would it be negative?
Okay, what have you seen on the pitch based on what you've seen so far? What have you seen?
But there's no director of football, not John Merton. I mean, just forget that.
Forget. Let's take signings out of the way now. Just forget signings. What have you seen based on the players we have today?
Rubbish.
Fit,
Nothing. Nothing.
Exactly. So what makes you think that he will bring in
get better.
someone and all of a sudden everything will change?
I never. I said the players they bring in for him might do better than what he already has. Then we need to let go of a lot of players.
But Tim,
what I'm
before
scared
we
of,
even do that, Tim, we need a
mm.
style of play. Before you can't bring in
True.
players and just be like,
Which is true.
What's our style of play first?
He
And
will
that
keep
has to come from the
saying.
top.
He will keep saying, I don't have the right players to make that style of play. He already
Yeah,
said,
but that's
I
wrong.
can't
Look
bring
at Klopp.
Ajax. He said, I
doesn't
can't bring
matter.
Ajax.
Klopp, Tim,
Yeah.
look at Klopp. When Klopp was at Liverpool, he had a style of play.
He's still there.
Before-
You said was at
Same-
Liverpool. He's
same
still
with
there.
Pep.
Yeah, sorry. When he first came, before he
Yeah.
signed
Right.
Salah and all those players, he had a style. He was playing the same that Gengen press.
Exactly.
What
Rock
do
and
you
roll
call it
football.
again? Rock and roll football. He was playing that with chicken and chips players. And he was working. He was just getting loads of draws.
Quality.
He managed to
Yeah.
win a trophy
Can-
with it
can I-
until
can
the
I-
players
can I-
came in. With Ten Hag, I can't trust this guy,
Can I-
man. There's
can
no.
I ask-
He's making the wrong substitutions. He's making the wrong tactically inept. You know, like
Wait.
playing the Scottish lad. I mean, what when you've got Casemiro and all these top players, that's what he's gonna do. You know what? DOF's gonna give him a solid DM. Yeah, the DOF's gonna give him a solid DM, and he'll go, nah, I want to play Scott there because we want dynamism or whatever. We want Scott to arrive late in the box, and that's what I'm saying. You can't trust this guy. You just
Nope.
can't.
If a team like United who don't create enough chances, we can't create enough chances, we don't bring enough cross into the box, any striker is going to struggle. The reasons why people like Abramovich, Ronaldo were successful is because they had to make individual chances for themselves. And when the few crosses came in, they had the ability to think using experience to know when to get to the box. Go on, Kay.
Before we even go down that, for me, the reason why Ten Hag shouldn't even get a day of light is his man management is non-existent. His management of these players, I've not seen anyone really thrive in this team, and he's pissed off a lot of players. So what makes you think he's going to be able to rekindle that relationship, or not even piss off new players that come in, or players might not even want to come because they've got look at all these players that were supporting Sancho when he went to Dortmund. You think players talk? They'll be like, "Oh, this manager does this, does that." Players won't want to come. They won't want to come if they know Ten Hag's doing things like this.
Listen, the thing with Sancho, I'm gonna say it like somebody said on United. It's kind of like you just broke up with somebody. They went to their ex. They're having a great time, but they're the reason why y'all broke up in the first place. So you don't really fucking care. That's my thing with Sancho.
But Joe,
You over there kissing the badge?
Yo, you gotta remember.
Really? He's looking
Like,
real thotty right now, man. He's looking.
But do you know why he's doing
right
that? He's doing that to have a dig at Ten Hag. Everything he's doing is to have a dig at Ten Hag. Like, you gotta remember.
So that tells you right there, he has not learned, because there's a level of professionalism. Like, bro, you're at another club.
But
Now
Joe, look at any other top manager. If they lose a game, did you ever see Pep talking about Haaland when they lost the game? Or you lost the game when you're talking about a player that didn't even play the game. That's a rookie error.
Can I ask you something, Joe? I want to say something.
Richard.
Was he not asked the question?
He was out the question.
Sancho's been eating from packed lunch boxes in
Exactly.
Old Trafford.
He can't even do it on the ground.
He's not even allowed near the locker rooms, right? So the moment that he gets some sort of freedom, he's going to be happy. Joe, imagine like you're living. Imagine you're homeless for the past 6 months, and then somebody offers you shelter. You're going to be all smiles, aren't you?
Nah, I don't think
that made you homeless. Now, even if it was your fault that you was homeless, yeah, the moment that you get a roof over your head, you're going to be grinning from ear to ear.
Yo,
Yeah, I saw.
Yo, homeless. The only homeless I see him, I see him all the time at the hookah lounges. He over there doing bottle service. He's popping bottles.
Yeah,
man.
why wouldn't he?
Hey,
He's got nothing else to do.
He's the happiest homeless person I've ever seen, man. Man, listen, the kid, listen, there's mentalities, man. This kid is not listening. He's not listening, man. He's not listening. You can
I kind of see where Joe is coming. I see where Joe is coming. I think
you can see it.
He's not he's not professional.
Did you not see his interview? He said, "I just want to play football."
Oh, please.
And
Then
he's not been given.
That's a lie.
Joe, listen, one point.
That's a lie.
All pre-season, he played him up top as a false nine. As soon as the season starts, he put Rashford up top. it doesn't make sense. Why would you put him up? This just shows that the manager doesn't know what he's doing. It's not like Rashford wasn't fit. Rashford was fit during preseason. You played Sancho nearly every game up top as a false 9. Season starts. Sancho, you're on the bench. Rashford's up top. Of course, he's going to be pissed off.
But
And Anderson's starting ahead of him too.
if we are honest, okay, if we are honest, he's been here 2.5 years, right? 2.5 years. He has. I could count 5 games. I can't even count 5 games. He has. I could say, he was man of the match. To me, I think he has failed, bro. I think he has.
No one's saying he's done well, but when he came in under Ollie didn't even know to play him. Didn't even know where to
When
put
the
him.
guy said, "I don't want to play on the right," they bought him to play right. He said, "I want to play on the left." You have a problem right there. That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, but shouldn't you know that before the player comes
wing
in?
back in training. Ollie was using him as a wing back in training.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's true though. It's
a mess, mate.
To be honest, Sancho is not just a managerial blunder. This is a club blunder.
This is a club
organization.
and we gave him a 5-year contract. 5 years on $350 a week.
And that's the thing with this club. We got the personality. We didn't pick we don't know what kind of winger we want. That's why Sancho is so drastically different from Anthony, who's so drastically different from Garnacho. We don't know how we want our wingers to play. That's why Garnacho looks completely different from Rashford. If we just solidify and plan accordingly, this is the kind of winger we want, right? Then I don't think we're making these kind of moves like
Sancho ain't a winger to cross the ball in the box. Why
do
we get him?
Sancho was Sancho was Moments FC on steroids, man. That's why
Where Dortmund? Nah, that's a
no. When he came to United, right? I don't think there was enough of a plan as to how to play him. We just figured he's a great player. He'll just produce for us, and that was a failure by the organization, which had nothing to do with who.
Eric Ten Hag.
No, but he was bought for Solskjaer, wasn't he? And this is the problem. Solskjaer bought him in.
He's not chased him for 2 years. We chased after that guy.
But you got to remember, Ten Hag's got no loyalty to this guy. I didn't bring you in, and you see that a lot with managers. A player that they didn't bring in, they'll always do something to upset the apple cart or make an example of them.
To a point.
But you got to remember, all Ten Hag is doing is devaluing that player. If a top manager will just say, "All right, you dropped," or go and find a loan, get some value. All you've done now is just made it worse for yourself. A player's getting paid all this money. I think since he's not played, he's been paid. What were they saying? I think he's been paid what is it? September to October, November, December. So he's getting free. He's been paid millions, and he's not even
$350 a week.
I
he's not even been on the pitch.
That's 1.4 million a month before taxes.
You say Ten Hag is devaluing Sancho. I think you're letting Sancho off a little bit. Sancho is still a professional footballer, and I feel like his performances is what has devalued his value. Not Eric Ten Hag. If he was balling, he would play, bro. If he was balling,
you got to remember, you got to try and find a way to he's tucked there in the post. That should be enough. You're trying to make an example of him. Say he needs to say sorry to me and then say sorry to the team. He didn't say anything about the team.
Why didn't say sorry in public?
It's Ten Hag's basically trying to be. It's an ego thing, and he shouldn't need to do that. He's not Ferguson. Everyone's like, oh, if that was Ferguson, he wouldn't play again. Sancho wouldn't do that under Ferguson. It's because they don't respect him.
He's saying that he needs to apologize to the team because
and Ten Hag
selfish. It was a very selfish move. That Sancho's only thinking about himself. He did not think about the team. He didn't think about the season. He didn't think about the potential. You know why you were brought here. You know the value that this team has placed on you, right? You know what we need from you, right? And you're willing to hold that hostage because you had a little spat with the manager and you don't want to just man up and just apologize so that
but Joe, you got to remember,
you were a true team member.
You got to remember,
do you know how many times?
Hold on. Let Joe finish. Let Joe finish quickly.
How many? Are you saying that everybody here, we all work, right? Are you saying you're just unable to function if you're not absolute buddies with your manager?
No, but that didn't happen though. After a game, he's come out on on TV in front of millions of people and just said like defamation of character, saying he's not training hard. Like he didn't need to do that. So Ten Hag was wrong to do that. Sancho was probably wrongly advised to put up a post.
But couldn't
he's
that
basically-
couldn't that have been done internally? Did he have to
That's
go
what-
back?
a
go
good
back?
manager will pull you in. He didn't even need to have a word with him because a reporter just said, "Why is Sancho not playing?" And he didn't. He wasn't even in the squad. You don't need to even address
Yes.
that. Just say he wasn't fit. You've opened a can of worms because you're not a top manager, and then everyone's just like, daggers. Sancho's not trained hard, and then it's made Sancho feel aware that he has to put up a post to defend himself. You got to remember, he's a young kid. He's still young. He's going to make mistakes, and he's probably got people around him that are not giving him the best
Ken,
advice.
let me bring Ken in. Ken, quickly. Let's quickly shut this down now. Quick. Do you think Sancho was wrong, or do you think Ten Hag was wrong here? Quickly.
I think they're both wrong. Yeah, both wrong. To be honest, and this I can see where Sancho's coming from. I can see where Ten Hag's coming from. Now, my comeback is this: if this was Anthony now, do you think Ten Hag would have done the same thing to Anthony?
No way.
No,
It wouldn't.
no
have.
But
chance.
because Eric Ten Hag purchased
Listen.
Anthony, maybe Anthony would have been more like professional and apologized.
But this is what we're saying. Remember, he
So
said
there's
about
probably a slight
favoritism.
bias. There's
He
probably a
said
slight bias.
favoritism and
Yeah.
scapegoat. That's what we're saying.
And
Wait
as
a
a
minute, are
manager
you
as well,
serious?
you could. If
We
you're
just
doing,
finished
if
talking
you're
about.
doing what you're doing, if he's doing what you do, you have to win. I'm sorry. If you're doing what you're doing, look, result. You turn around. Look, results not going my way. You know what? You better go and talk to Sancho. You better go and say, look, dude, let's make this work. What's going on?
Yeah.
You're getting paid 350.
Yeah.
You know what? Forget the apology. We'll talk about it now. You know,
Yeah.
there are ways to discipline someone. Bring him into the
Yeah.
team because the team's not doing. We're not performing.
Exactly.
Why do we have an asset paying this asset £350,000 a week, and we can't score goals? And we've got someone that can create goals, can make us score goals.
Are you sure?
Just swallow
you
your
sure
ego
Sancho
and
could
just say,
still
you know
create
what?
goals? Because I didn't see why he
He was
created
the
it.
last
I didn't
time
see
field
like
scorer
who's
at
the
Old
Sancho
Trafford
that you're
until
talking about?
today.
I don't understand the Sancho that you're talking about. This Sancho that you're talking about, that Ten Hag needs to go like demean himself to force him back in the team, does not exist. Sancho is not coming back into this team, and our fortunes change. It's never
We're
been
not
that.
saying we're not saying that. We're not
not
saying
saying
that.
that.
Why undermine yourself? Why undermine yourself as a leader in
It's
front
not
of men?
undermining.
But Joe, you're a parent. We're all parents in this group.
Yeah.
Look, you discipline. Maybe some people that with all the children can comment more. My kids are very young, but there's sometimes when you discipline them, and sometimes you think, you know what? Let me just put an arm around their shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe they should have done this. But
There's a true point.
that's
but
it's all part of man management.
He sent
Are you
this
going to
dude to a
ostracize?
spa,
Joe, are you
man,
going to
in
ostracize
Norway.
your son?
He sent him to a spa in Norway.
Yeah.
Richard.
No,
Okay,
actually,
let me bring
Joe, I
Richard
wanna
in
go
quickly.
back
Let me
to
bring
that
in
point.
Richard quickly. Richard, where this Eric Ten Hag Sancho thing? Shut me down quickly. Who's wrong? Who's right? What should be your final outcome? This is becoming ridiculous because no one wants to say they were wrong. I think Sancho as a player, I don't know. It's like
Sancho and Ten Hag shouldn't have brought this to light to the public, especially after a defeat like that against Arsenal. But then I think Sancho may have been badly advised to have put that post up. But you know who done it? It was Ronaldo. It was the same publicist that had an axe to grind against Ten Hag. Ronaldo's publicist basically was involved in the post. Yeah, that's what they reported yesterday, and we all know what happened with Ten Hag and Ronaldo. But it was badly advised. But at the same time, if you're Sancho and you've not really been given a clear run of games, right? You've got somebody like Anthony who's underperforming. You've got all these players in front of you underperforming. How many games has Sancho had in a row? A clear run of games? He's not had it. Even since he joined. Okay, let's stick to Ten Hag. He's never had a clear run of games. So to answer Joe's point, yeah, he did send him to a spa or
Amsterdam.
Yeah, but if this is somebody that has so-called mental health issues, struggles with mental health, why would you throw him under the bus in front of millions of people if he was a good manager? You know, if you know that this player is a bit delicate sometimes, from a mental point of view, from a mental health point of view, you discipline them behind closed doors and say, look, I'm not happy with your training. This is why I'm not happy. You're going to be dropped. Leave it at that. You don't say it in public. But then again, I don't think it was wise of Sancho to post that on social media. Again, he could have gone to the manager behind closed doors and it could have all been sorted out. But I don't think he respects Ten Hag because, like
I don't think he
Kay said,
does. I don't think he does.
he wouldn't have done it under Ferguson. He wouldn't have done it
No.
under Ferguson.
No, he wouldn't.
Period.
You could see that he was excluded from the England World Cup squad to the World Cup in Qatar, and he deleted his post. Probably he was upset that he didn't make the team. But even Southgate has come out to say in the past that this guy doesn't train well. So it's not like Ten Hag is saying anything that other managers. Even did you guys realize when he played under Pep, this guy cost the team? He was dropped from going to the tour because he missed training so many times. Pep said, "You're not coming on tour."
He was in the youth team though. He was in the youth team though.
But isn't this a
Yeah.
pattern? Isn't this a pattern, bro?
Hey,
Isn't this a
Hey,
pattern of
I think
indiscipline?
they're making it bigger than it is. I think they're making it big. Tevez wasn't a good trainer at Man United, but when he played games, he performed. Rooney wasn't a good trainer at Man United, but in the games, he performed.
Cantona wasn't good.
Cantona. There's loads of players that don't
Ronaldo
train.
wasn't
though.
Okay.
good.
Let me
there's a key
bring
point
that
that
in.
you guys are
Let me
making.
bring that to UK. He wasn't a
Yeah.
good trainer.
Yeah.
But I still don't see what he does on the field,
But
bro.
has he had a
Doesn't
run of
do
games?
anything on the
though?
pitch.
He's not had
He's
a
not
run
had
of
a
games.
run of games.
You, as a footballer, you're not going to get much rhythm if you're coming. Even look at what Alanga said when he scored past Man United the other day when they beat United. He said he had the dig at Ten Hag saying about basically coming on every 5-10 minutes, not getting a run again. You can't get much rhythm playing that. And a player like Sancho, he's ticky-tacky. He needs the ball. He's a player that needs to get on the ball. So coming in as a sub, not touching the ball, it's not like a centre-back where you might not see the ball for a while, or you're heading it and kicking it. He's a player that needs to get on the ball. So it's poor man management. And this is the thing. Top managers know how to manage players. And that just shows. Look, I put it in the group earlier.
Top
Ronaldo
players know
said
how to
what he
manage
said.
themselves.
Say again?
Mhm.
Top players know how to manage themselves.
But not every player, they learn it. Some players don't know how to manage themselves. Remember when Scholes refused to go to a game?
Yeah, he got fined. He got fined.
He got fined and he got disciplined, but it
Got
wasn't.
disciplined.
Ferguson didn't throw him under the bus in front of the public.
No, it was done internally.
It was done internally. And this is what I'm saying. You
But you
pick
do
your battles
realize
wisely.
times have changed. You do realize times have changed. There was no
But
social media
But
then.
Tim, this is the point. Players now, it's not like the money they're getting now. They don't need to play like they used to back in the day. And a lot of players now, you need to get them on side. You can't start shouting at players and disciplining them like the old managers doing, throwing teacups and stuff like that. If you do that to a player, you're going to lose them. That's why it's harder to manage
So
players now.
you're literally saying today's players are more fragile, emotionally weaker than back in the day players who earned
Fragile,
less.
and they don't care. They don't care as much. If they think something's wrong, they're going to say it to you. Whereas back in the day, players might not have said something until they retire. You got to remember, these players have got a voice. They've got social media. They've got a platform. Back in the day, players didn't have a voice. You didn't hear about anything.
Even when Beckham, whatever happened with Beckham and Ferguson, they said even if they did that again, that thing can't happen because he just kicked the boot because he was pissed off because Beckham didn't track back and the boot hit him on his head. What Beckham did, if you guys remember 2003, all he did, he made sure the world saw what was done. He made it like I'm the victim here. Ferguson, that's fine. You're right. I'm shipping you up. Shipped into Real Madrid. That was done. It was done. The relationship was not returning. And remember, the relationship was started to fracture when he started with Posh Spice. It was literally. I got to get rid of you somehow. Right. We've come to the question time part quickly. Who wants to go on the first question?
David.
Yeah, I'll go first. If Ten Hag is to be sacked tomorrow, who would you bring to replace him?
I would love to have Ancelotti, but I don't think we could get him.
He's signing a new deal, isn't he?
He's tied to Ancelotti. Is a good. His experience, his old head.
Yeah.
He you can't say he's won it. He's been to Real Madrid. This is his second time at Real Madrid, and every time he's there, Champions League is guaranteed. You know what I mean? So no clowns are gonna start saying, "What have you won?" Blah blah blah. Because and he looks like a strict disciplinarian. And his players seem to respect him. He commands
respect him.
respect. Yeah. So if we
yeah.
get rid of, but if we do get rid of Ten Hag, I will put in Ancelotti. But I don't see United getting Ancelotti. I just can't see it.
Not happening.
Good point.
We have brought in managers that had respect. We have brought in managers that had accolades. We have brought managers that were disciplinarians. We have brought in managers that were great man management. Every single one of those guys were thrown under the bus by this team.
But Joe,
you can put in. It doesn't matter who you bring in. It could be a
Joe,
Cornish head
what you got to
or
remember,
these
Joe?
guys are going to do whatever the fuck they want.
There's no structure. There was no structure put in place. This is a unique opportunity. We're gonna have a structure in place and a new manager. This hasn't happened in 10 years. So this is why I've got a little bit of hope that it could change slightly.
So who would you replace?
I want to see the blueprint of the structure first before I start, buying curtains and stuff.
From what
Okay?
Richard said,
replacing parts.
from what Richard asked, if you sack Ten Hag, who are you replacing? Okay, go for it. Who are you going to put in his place?
The only person that I think we could probably get that I've got respect for, what I've heard, that he's good on the training ground, and our youth academy is the best it's been at the moment. We're bringing through a lot more youth players. No, not Southgate. Deserby's the only one I'd bring him through.
Deserby from Brighton.
Yeah.
Nah. He'll die.
Do you know why I say that?
Deserby,
The only reason,
you'd have to.
listen. The only reason I
as soon
say
as he
that,
comes in, we'll start building his coffin.
One at a time.
No,
As soon as
do you know why I say
Deserby
that?
comes in, go on.
Dan Ashworth. If we
Ghana
get Dan
settings.
Ashworth in, before he went to Newcastle, he was at Brighton for 7 years. So he's got a relationship with him. If they bring in another director of football, or because I think Dan Ashworth's going to be the head of recruitment, they've got a working partnership already.
Right.
Like at the moment, the only thing I know about Ten Hag and Brailsford is they know each other because Ten Hag likes cycling, so they've crossed paths before. But in terms of like football wise, like there's nothing I can see with Ten Hag that tells me that it's going to improve. Like I put in the group earlier, he disciplined the player because did he dye his hair, or he had a haircut? Neres, remember Neres?
Yeah, he sold him. Yes, he sold.
He
Neres,
disciplined him because he cut his hair. Like what kind of nonsense is that? He
Interesting.
fell out with a player because he cut his hair because of his hairstyle. Look at Martinez; they're dyeing their hair. Garnacho's dyeing his hair. Anthony's dyeing it. Is he falling out with them? I bet he's not falling out with them. And these are public spats.
So you would go with Deserby. Ken.
That's the only one I think we could get personally.
Yeah, I'll go with the former Bayern Munich manager.
Yes, Hansi Flick. Yeah.
Hansi Flick. And I will give him a 2-year contract, not a 3-year. Any manager that comes into United sorry?
What's Flick doing now? Is he management? Or is
No,
he
he's just
he's on the unemployment line, mate.
Hansi Flick, give him a 2-year contract with, based on performances. I think Vim was mentioning this before. Let's attach performances. Let's set targets for people coming in.
Right.
You've got to win a trophy first within those first 2 years, or we get someone else in.
Okay.
That's it.
Makes sense. Joe, who would you put in place of if Ten Hag is the end of the season? Who would you get in?
We're getting a Cornish hen because ain't shit gonna change.
Who?
A Cornish hen. You can have just a chicken. Wow. Just get a chicken and just listen, nothing is gonna change. Okay?
Why did you say that?
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because these players are gonna throw that chicken on the bus in 8 months.
Vim, if Ten Hag is sacked at the end of the season, who would you bring in?
Well, there's a few options out there, but Ten Hag needs to go when the structure is fully in place and it's embedded in. Okay, and if it's by the end of the season, then fine. If it's not, keep him on until we find the manager that is ready to take us to the next level with the new structure in place. So options could be Diego Simeone.
Nah,
Dan?
he's the most expensive
That's his
manager
choice.
in the world.
Let the man finish.
Who is Simeone?
Yeah, he's the most
I
highest
thought
paid.
Guardiola's
manager in
the
the
most
world.
expensive. Okay.
No.
Anyway, I'll just throw a few options out there.
Mm.
Simeone,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Zidane, Nagelsmann, I thought was interesting. It's a shame it didn't work out at Bayern. Deschamps, maybe.
Oh,
It's
Deschamps might be at work this summer.
yeah.
Yeah.
think-
Yeah,
doesn't do
if
his
they
last
don't
World
win the
Cup.
Euros and France, if
Yeah.
France don't do well in the
You're-
Euros,
you're- you're-
And
You got a big list, didn't it?
Ancelotti, right?
I'll
But
take
you know, the club's got to be ready for him, and he's going to be prepared to give up Real Madrid and you know work hard with this team to try and get us up to Real Madrid level, if that's even possible. And then maybe it's Lionel Scaloni. That's it.
nice list, very nice list.
Yeah.
All right.
But not
Anyone
until the
else got
club's ready, though.
questions?
Not until the club's ready.
Who wants to take the last final question? Who wants to ask the last final question?
Well, what position do you think we need to focus on for next season? What's the priority signing? What position?
Striker for
Mm,
now.
I say striker.
Mm.
Striker.
But who do you think we could realistically get though?
In
I
terms
would
of price
say-
these days, how much is?
No,
I mean,
I-
who's
I would
available
say-
though?
Osimhen.
Who's available?
Osimhen.
How much do Inter want from? I mean, Napoli. How much they want from?
He's fallen out with them recently, hasn't he? Because of some racism incident.
Yeah.
I'd
But they're
pay
asking for 120, right?
They were last summer. I think it's probably
Yeah,
dropped a little bit.
not this summer. I think maybe 100 million, maybe.
Is it worth
Yeah.
100 million?
Yeah,
He's a good
it's
player.
the service though, isn't it? It's the service he's gonna get and the manager.
That's the thing. Do we have
There
enough
you
players
go.
to create
That's-
the
that's-
ball for?
okay.
On the Ten Hag,
Like-
I would not waste
Well,
that 100 million.
well,
This is what I'm saying. This is what I said earlier. Would you trust this manager? Would you give him?
No chance.
Let's just say we bring in Osimhen. Would you trust this manager to get
No
the best
way.
out of Osimhen? No way. He can't do it.
Wow.
The club has to recruit for the club and not for the manager, and that's
Yeah.
got to be the outlook now. It's going to
True.
change.
I
So you've got to
agree.
think
I
about the
agree.
future, think about the style of play that Man United need to play, and then
Yeah.
just build your team slowly according to that. And then when Ten Hag's ready to go, when we're done with him, we bring in the next manager who can continue and take us to the next levels. But yeah, we
Listen,
can't be
Ten
buying for
Hag-
Ten Hag. Ten Hag has spent 400 million, which is plenty. It's
And-
more than
and
enough,
Osimhen's
and he's
gonna
proven
struggle.
And
he's
we're not
proven
even
that he
making Europe
makes
this
big
season.
mistakes with his purchases. So no
Listen,
more
Ten
money for
Hag should
him.
have been sacked when he opened his mouth and said, "I
can't play
can't
the
do what
football."
I'm supposed to be doing."
Yeah, exactly.
That alone is a sackable offense.
Yeah, I lied on my
Seriously.
CV basically.
Do you know what I mean? You're brought in to do something. You're saying, "Oh, I
Joe,
can't do it."
you're
That's
very
it.
quiet.
Bye.
Joe, you're very quiet. Any last words before we go home?
I want to reiterate what Bim said. I can meet you guys halfway with this. All right. I'm not saying give Ten Hag another 3-year, 4 or 5-year contract. I will say that once that structure has been put together, then I am more open to the idea of switching out the manager. But unfortunately, with our current situation, I don't think INEOS can undo 10 plus years of rot in 6 months.
No, it's
So
not gonna
once-
be under in 6 months. No one's saying that. No one's
But
saying
you're
that. I'm
saying,
just saying, I'm just saying
that
would you give him next season? Where we are today, would you give him next season to be the manager still?
if I see the management being changed, then yes.
No,
I'll
I think
give him-
today. If they said
Today?
give him another year, would you give him another year?
Yes, I will.
Wow.
I will.
Talk about
I
loyalty.
will.
Right, last question.
Not
Vim,
about loyalty.
today's performance,
About
just
logic.
give me the score 1 to 10. What you give United performance, just the score today. against
First
Spurs.
half, I would say it's slightly better at 6. Second half, probably a 2. And I've just been watching match of the day. Eriksen is at fault for their second goal, and for us, ultimately losing 3 points.
Joe? Man United, Spurs,
I'll give it a
score
5.5.
1 to 5.5. Okay,
5.5 today.
4. Ken?
To give him 5. Yes,
5.
standard 5.
I'm sticking with 4. Not good enough.
Yeesh.
Not home. Not home. You can't be
That's harsh coming from you. You're
No,
normally very, yeah.
no. I've got to the point where I don't expect anything, but I expect you as the home team to not be
100%.
outpossessed. They
100%.
Spurs has 64% possession with a team that was lacking regular players. I'm sorry,
No
bro.
Son, no
I know.
Basuma, no Sa, no Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Like, it's a shambles.
But,
Is
but,
it?
but
No
you
son.
know we
No
you know we
son.
always play we always play to our level. I believe if every single one of those guys were on the pitch, our team would have played better.
Nah, we would have
Nah.
got
Nah, we
broke.
would have
No,
lost.
We would have
no,
got
I
broke.
think we would have lost.
No,
I think we
don't
would have
think so.
lost, Joe.
We would
I
have
I
think.
lost.
think
We would have lost. We
I
would have
think
lost.
So you're saying
we
so
step up.
you play who's in front of you.
When have we stepped up
don't-
this season, Joe? When we
Say
played
what?
Man City, when we played Liverpool, did we step up? The only reason we got a draw at
I mean,
Liverpool is
that's
because they
beyond.
couldn't.
That's beyond.
It was even
We're
worse
talking
than
Spurs
Liverpool.
here. No, you can't put
Richard.
can't put
So
Spurs.
let me
Serious.
quickly
Spurs
ask.
and
Let me
City
quickly
in the
ask
same
Richard.
conversation.
Richard, today's game. What are you giving United team performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
5. I'll give it a 5. You know, we scored 2 goals, but we conceded 2 at the same time. We didn't control the game. So yeah, 5.
Against a team that wasn't having its full this is our full team, right? This was our full team. There's no excuses, right?
Exactly.
This
There's no
isn't
excuses.
our full
So
team. This
So
isn't
why
our
would
full
I
give
give
it
team.
them more than 4?
No,
I can't
no,
give
our
them more than
full
4.
team.
I mean, Casemiro
Listen,
was
no,
not
this
there.
isn't
Only
our
Luke
full
Shaw,
team.
Casemiro. That's it.
Casemiro's not there. Luke Shaw's not there.
But
Our little
it would have
Sonny
made a
in playing
difference.
left back.
It wouldn't have made a
Come
difference.
on.
Defensively, they are struggling. I mean, Martinez solidified it when he came on. Other than that, set pieces, bro, it's just a set piece. Come on. Where's Ramsey? Is he still there? The set piece.
Apparently, he's been offered a job somewhere, an actual managing job. I can't remember what team it was.
Is that the guy we
I feel
hired
sorry
to,
for
to
that
manage
team.
So the
set pieces?
goalkeeping coach.
And we started
4
conceding
years
more
he
set
has. We
pieces.
have not
But
scored
you
goals.
say that. Look at the Ipswich manager, the up and coming
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
He's done well.
He's
But
doing well.
someone's telling
Carrick's
me,
doing well as well.
yeah,
Carrick, you
something's
know.
telling me it's Man United. It's not the coaches. They're just being scapegoats.
Yeah,
Like, these are
Kieran
their
McKenna,
first
yeah.
jobs. These
You
are their
guys
first
talking about
managers.
Carrick
United
now?
is not hard to manage.
McKenna,
It's
that's
not
it.
hard. Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. UK crew, Fim, K, Ken. Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for coming on our show today with the sole representative of USA, which is Joe. Thank you very much. Well, our next game, I think we got the international break. Don't we have international break coming up
Yeah.
soon? So we're not
Yeah.
playing for another 2 weeks. Oh, no, they might
Thank
probably
God.
be back by then.
Thank God we're not playing for 2 weeks.
But this could be when INEOS get rid of
Yeah,
Ten Hag.
they'll be
actually.
looking. They'll be looking. I think they're looking already.
Yeah, this is
there might be some
interesting.
shocking
You
news
guys are
coming.
gassed. You guys are gassed because, like, no, United doesn't make decisions like these, man. It would
This
be
isn't Man
knee-jerk.
United of
It would
old.
be-
These are
It was.
INEOS that have just come in that want to make a statement.
Listen, man. Why are you're doing? You guys are doing a lot of projecting for this INEOS, man, because the stuff that I've seen at United.
We're in the UK, Joe. Remember, we're in the UK. We can feel it.
That's our problem. There's too
All
much
right, guys,
emotion in our
have a
decision-making.
great week. We keep seeing how this man, Rich, Kay, Bim,
care.
thank you very much. Ken, I appreciate you guys coming on today. So you guys, glory.
Man
United.
See you
United.
guys
guys.
on the next one. Take it easy.
Good night.
Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.